Boy, that sounds familiar to Mother's Day 2008, seeking shelter in those bathrooms at Lake Tobesofkee out there. Obviously, anywhere you can get in a situation like that. Really lucky to have gone through today. From what I've heard, no injuries or anything like that, although we've had damaged spots in multiple counties around our area. And of course, as I mentioned, we're not going to see any survey teams from the National Weather Service tomorrow. That'll begin on Thursday because another round of possible severe weather is in there for tomorrow. A lot of 60s out there now. And again, as I mentioned, it's a weird situation. Normally you'll have severe weather on one day, a cold front will come in, sweep it out, and that's it, and we're back to normal tomorrow. We didn't see that with this one, so it's just kind of lingering around. The ingredients, that is for some more storms. You can see the last bit of most of this rolling across. If you're in our southern counties, you may still have a few sprinkles here for the next little bit. Other than that, I don't expect anything bad out of that. Storm outlook for today, that looks good to have that erased. Doesn't look good to have it painted back on there again tomorrow, but it is another level 3. But once again, dealing with at least a different variety of storms. Instead of this line coming across with the rotation in a couple little spots in there, this is going to be kind of a summertime thing where I think the primary threats will be gusty winds, maybe some hail, and you can't rule out a spin with some of this, but it doesn't have the same look as what we saw today. And we're also not, labeled in there for as high as a tornado risk as what we saw today. Here's a look at noon tomorrow. Maybe a stray shower, maybe a thunderstorm. Kind of has that summertime look, doesn't it? Heat of the day. 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This is what we would see on a summertime day. Things just kind of firing up. We have the energy and the instability in there for tomorrow for this to happen. So all the ingredients to make that cake are there. We'll just have to see what these storms look like when they fire up. And again, this is not the exact placement of where they'll be. They could kind of coagulate here together as we go through the afternoon and evening and then sort of roll on off toward the east. This is around 6, 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I think once we get on into tomorrow night, maybe past sunset, for the most part, that should do it. The only thing we would be watching is the actual cold front is still back here in northwest Georgia. And as we head into the late hours tomorrow night, let's bring this thing on across here. You can see, you can get the idea of kind of where the frontal boundary is. Maybe it's just a shower, maybe a thunderstorm, but I think for the most part, we will have lost the heat of the day and the front clears it out, and that would do it. Now, let me show you the tornado potential graphic. This is just one model. This is a high-res model. Again, it kind of puts us up a little bit from low toward medium range here with a little bit of yellow in as we go into the afternoon. And then there's like a secondary wave if it happens. All right, so it's kind of like, think of the afternoon thunderstorms. Maybe a couple of those could rotate briefly. Otherwise, it's mainly gusty winds and some hail. And then this here along the frontal boundary. Now, you may look at this and say, well, that's still up late tomorrow night. That's assuming that we have thunderstorms in the mix. You'd have to have all that to have some sort of tornadic situation. It may just be a few showers tomorrow night as this front passes through. That's what my gut's telling me right now. So we'll see. But I think tomorrow afternoon at least could generate some strong storms with, again, maybe some straight line gusty winds and some hail. Sometimes you can get large hail out of these kind of storms tomorrow, and then we'll see if there's any rotation briefly in some of these. Couple inches maybe still of rain depending on where these line up, if they sit still for a little bit. And so that could, we already had a lot of rain in a lot of spots. This looks like a summertime map too. This tells part of the story. You're looking at dark green, 70 plus dew points. That's muggy out there as we go through the day. We get into tomorrow night. Here's the frontal boundary as we get in toward midnight, and then it'll clear it on out, taking with it humidity and the warm air that we have and all the instability and the whole thing that makes the severe weather possible. So today, I think it was the bigger day of the two, but tomorrow still is going to be active. So we'll see about watches or warnings or anything like that. And then let's get it out of here, shall we, tomorrow night? And we'll maybe have a sprinkle Thursday morning. Cooler this weekend, but thankfully, no severe weather. That's good stuff. Okay.